Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Flick Fights. This week we are doing John Wick versus Nobody to celebrate the release of a sequel, like fifth sequel, spin-off to John Wick, but a sequel to Nobody nonetheless.
What's going on?
It's the summer of sequels. I love it. I'm a slut for blockbusters for sure. So I'm pretty psyched.
Let's just be safe at all times and never take any risks artistically.
I think we talked about this before, but I remember seeing a thing where they just straight up said there's basically a memorandum in Hollywood right now that if it's not an existing IP, they don't want it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's because, like, apparently Hollywood is, like, hemorrhaging money. I've heard AMC right now is putting just, like, regular commercials before the movies now.
Yeah,
So
dude. Well, when I went to see Thunderbolts, first of all, it always felt like forever for previews, but it's legit forever now. Like, I could have showed up 45 minutes late.
Yeah, I mean, it was forever for previews, but at least you had that fun thing. You could look to your friend next to you. He's like, I'm going to see that. Or like, no, that's shit. Like, there was, like, your own little film review time, and, like, it was these big productions, and it was all built for cinema. Now I'm going to have, like, the fucking Pet Boys fucking jingle screamed at me in Dolby Surround sound.
Yeah, dude. All right, so for the tail of the tape, I'll go ahead and cover John Wick. Came out in 2014. I've never seen it do a range before. The budget was 20 to 30 million. Not sure what that means. Worldwide gross was 86 million. Rotten Tomatoes score was 88%. Domestic gross 43 mil. International about 43 mil also. Starring Keanu Reeves, supporting cast, I don't know how to pronounce this, Nyqvist, Defoe, McShane, and yeah, there's 4+ movies coming after that. Runtime of about 101 minutes. I honestly thought that the gross would be a lot higher for that.
Yeah, I mean, considering the franchise that it spawned and how much of a household name John Wick is right now.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, it's nothing to shake a stick at, 86 million, but...
Yeah, but like for the franchises and sequels and spin-offs that it spawned, you probably expect it to be a bit more of an instant hit.
You know, one not noted in the supporting cast, what's the name of the Continental guy that died? Lance Reddick, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I got sad seeing him again. That guy was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh. It's pretty much his entrance and exit of the movie, that speed.
He had the most iconic voice of all time. He did the voice in Destiny, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, Destiny's is full of voices. I mean, like, Peter Dinklage, everyone forgets, is like your little spark dude.
Mm-hmm. And Nathan Fillion's in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I forgot he was dead, and then I saw him, and I was like, God, I love that guy. Why isn't he in... Oh, fuck.
Yeah. A lot of guys like that. Never see Patrice O'Neal in something like, damn, too soon.
Yeah, dude. It's always the fat ones. It's always the funny fat ones.
Go figure. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Alrighty. As I sit here, a funny fat one in a Hawaiian shirt, just tempting death.
I almost wore my Star Wars Hawaiian shirt for this.
Great minds think alike. All right, I'll get the tail of the tape here on Nobody. Nobody is a movie that came out in 2021, surprisingly. I thought it was a little older than that. Grossed domestically 27 million, worldwide 57 million on a $16 million budget with a 6.8 opening weekend. Yeah, critic score on Rotten Tomatoes 84 and an audience score of 94, which is impressive.
I love that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was rated so high on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know. I mean, I guess there's just like a lot of impotent rage in the world right now, and I think this movie really spoke to that.
Yeah, definitely captures the silent rage of white straight fathers.
Mm-hmm. Which is terrifying that just at every Little League stand across America, that is brewing somewhere. We have the main cast, Bob Odenkirk as Hutch Mansell, Connie Nielsen as his wife, which is, like, I mean, basically could just been credited as Hutch's wife for as much impact she had in the plot. God, I keep wanting to say the late great, but no, the man keeps chugging along despite me always thinking he's dead, is Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, dude. Such a badass.
Yep. And it's is it RZA? Is RZA? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
RZA. It's
Okay,
RZA.
I'm just that
I
far
forgot
disconnected
RZA
from
was
that.
in this movie, and that caught me so off guard. I wish he had just started rapping at some point, but or
Just
the
rapping
rest
on the
of the
corpses.
Wu-Tang Clan came in.
Yeah.
He just
We,
has
we,
a whole adopted family of foster brothers and sisters that are the Wu-Tang
yeah,
Clan.
just happens. Just like this is my clan. Come on, there's something.
Old Dirty Bastard comes in. He's just Old Dirty Bastard. Maybe they'll have that in the sequel. Maybe there'll be more Wu-Tang Clan members. Maybe Method Man pops up.
That'd be funny to see if Method Man was a method actor.
I've seen him pop up in some random stuff. He was in Luke Cage. You ever watch that?
Oh yeah. I think I watched like the first season or two of that.
Towards the end of the first season, Method Man is just in a 7-Eleven or a bodega where somebody tries to rob it. Luke Cage whoops the dude's ass. Method Man is like, "Yo, let's trade jackets." And then
Oh yeah.
cuts to Method Man rapping about Luke Cage. I was like, "This is fucking sick."
You know, I think I had the same problem I had with like the whole Defenders thing because like I loved Luke Cage, Jessica Jones was awesome, Daredevil was awesome, and then they're like, oh okay, so now if you want to watch this movie, you have to go watch the Iron Fist too, and I'm like,
They
no.
brutalized that. I don't understand why they just shit all over Iron Fist. They did everything
know.
else so good.
I know he's
And
just
Iron
like, oh
Fist could have been so dope.
he's shitty kung fu Batman who we kind of hate as a character. That's who we're doing with Iron Fist right now. All right, cool.
His Iron
same-
Fist kind of works sometimes. Never has both like he does in the comics. Never wears his costume,
Nope.
which super pissed me off.
And he's just whining and fucking like bratty the entire time.
He's just a 9-year-old, dude.
I know. He's like a child. It's like, and then I had the same problem with the whole DC crossover thing. I was like, Arrow, super cool. The Flash, loved it. Go watch Supergirl. Shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, they got me so psyched for what was it, Legends of Tomorrow and all that
Yep.
stuff. That was they fumbled it. Shortly after that, The Flash was the worst show on TV. But
Oh yeah, no. I was working with a client like and watching their kid years ago, and like there was just a bunch of stuff in the DVR. I'm like, oh, there's a new Flash. Like I haven't seen that in years. I'm like, what the hell happened? It turned into Adam West Batman.
it turned into like Power Rangers and old school Batman. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
It's
They're
like, I'm
about to be at
surprised
Denver. What is it, Fan Expo or whatever this weekend or next weekend? They got the
the
whole
cast?
Flash cast. They got all the
Man.
Supermen there. Lot of fucking money. Brendan Fraser's going to be there. William Shatner. I've never been to any of those, and I just today somebody at work was telling me about it, and they're like, "Hey, you can go get autographs and stuff." And then if you go to the site, it shows how much they charge. Oh my god!
Oh,
Like
it's
the
insane.
tickets to get in aren't that bad, but if you want an autograph, it's like $160 for Brendan Fraser.
Yep. Yeah. No. If any of the good ones, you're gonna wait in like a 2 hour line too. Like it's fucking Disneyland.
Well, then
You
I just
gotta
sat there
watch-
judging whatever prices they're charging because I'm like, how
Yeah.
the fuck is a guy from Smallville still charging $100?
Oh yeah, no. And then it's like sad because you see like the guy from like who was like a side character from V for Vendetta or some shit like that, like signing notes, and it's like $5, please. I need to feed my family. It's
Yeah,
just
dude.
like-
They've got like the entire backup cast of Twilight there, and I'm like, who the fuck cares?
yeah.
They do have that lady that's on Critical Role. Sometimes I can never pronounce her name, but
Well,
I love
their
her.
celebrity is like rising, and a lot of them are falling, so they're just like hitting that same level as they're going past each other right now.
Yeah, I would have to look up on eBay how much I could make for selling their autograph before I ever pay that much.
Oh, probably less than they probably went on eBay right before that.
Right.
Found out.
That's how they gauge their prices. Yeah, I'm trying to talk myself out of going to that, but I may
but
end up
there's
going just to meet all the Supermen.
I know there's always one or two things like, oh, that'd be cool to meet them.
Yeah. And Brendan Fraser. I just love Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, well, he's a treasure and needs to be protected.
All right, so I'll skim through. It's not going to be tough. Not a whole super lot of plot in these movies, but John Wick, starring Keanu Reeves as John Wick, starts with a funeral and Willem Dafoe standing in the rain with an umbrella during the funeral, which is not something anybody wants to see during a funeral.
No. If Willem Dafoe's my funeral, like, you can just assume that's a Grim Reaper. Like, it's
He stands off in the distance like a Grim Reaper too. But if I saw anybody that looked like Willem Dafoe at a funeral, yes, I would assume death has come for me at this funeral. John Wick's at a funeral. A puppy shows up at his doorstep. Possibly the most adorable puppy on earth.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of my dog, which didn't happen the first time I saw this.
That sucks. That super sucks.
Yeah, and it's kind of like white and brindle, and
I forgot how bad the death of the puppy is. Like, I'm glad they don't show it happening, but I never noticed before this time that you can see like a trail
where the puppy
of blood
dragged itself to him. Yeah, it was just like,
my
Jesus
God,
Christ,
dude.
no.
Like, why? So yeah, the John Wick has a puppy now. It's from his wife. He starts crying as he reads the note.
Yep.
Within a day, becomes super attached to this puppy. Takes it with him to go Kevin Bacon flash dance, but in a muscle car in an empty parking lot.
Yep. I mean, it's just he likes to dance with his car. That's his partner now. Happens a few times.
I love the movie, but that part was super corny to me. Where he's just like it's angry driving.
The thing where like he like slams the brakes before he hits the truck, and like Kevin Bacon's like, ah! Like if you put them side by side, it's the same emotion.
Dude, and it doesn't show the puppy the entire time he's doing that. I wish it would. There's no seatbelt for puppies in that car. And the guy that like lets him in is just like, oh fuck, this guy's here again.
Yep.
Everybody watch out while John Wick angry drives.
Yeah, just everyone clear the area. 2-kilometer perimeter. John Wick is drifting. No one is safe.
So then he runs into old Dickless from Game of Thrones at the gas station, who talks shit to him in Russian, gets called out in Russian by John Wick, asked to buy the car, says it's not for sale. He gets mad, comes into John Wick's house, kills the puppy, but only beats up John Wick, which I thought was a little weird. Why not just kill him? But
oh yeah, no, like even like the first thing, this is like, is he dead? And they're like, no. We're like, fuck.
I mean, if they killed him, then no movie. So I get it, but still, that was sloppy as fuck.
Well, I guess by a logical standpoint, like if they got caught, they have as shitty as it is destruction of property for killing the pet, because that's all that fucking that is worth, which I hate for many reasons. Like if you kill my dog, then I mean, I don't know I can as competent as John Wick, but goddamn, I'm gonna try.
So I've seen like clips recently. I don't know why, but there's clips that like, if you are seen like hitting your dog with a closed fist, you can go to prison now.
Yep.
Which I think is cool, but so maybe they would do something else. But I mean, maybe he's also in the Russian mob, so probably not.
Yeah. And then the second thing though is just like, if they just beat him, it's assault, and you can probably get off an assault with a good lawyer and burglary. But if I shoot him in the head, it's murder now. And this is a rich dude, and probably going to be noticed if he's missing. So that probably was the logic of why they.
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing. There. Like they only took the car, and they see. This is a straight up mansion. Like he is in a straight up like the nicest mansion ever.
To be fair, he did keep his like gold and money under like 4 feet of concrete, so it'd be probably hard to rob him.
I want to see the story of the construction of John Wick's house. Where
so just leave the basement completely bare and ground. It's like, I mean, but like you can't get that to code. It's like, no, I'm gonna fill it in myself. Just get out of here. It's $2,000.
Yeah, just make sure that it is breakable with a. Don't put rebar in it. Don't reinforce it at all.
Like, or like the shittiest concrete you got, like basically a sponge.
In an alternate universe, John Wick dies from his house collapsing on the shitty foundation.
He's lucky he wasn't there. Like 2 days later, the whole thing just goes. They actually saved his life, weirdly enough, by killing his dog. No.
So then, John Wick pretty quickly figures out who it is because everybody knows John Wick, and he goes to try and get it washed. New VIN, new registration from a guy that's super tight with John Wick. Apparently, what is that? John Leguizamo?
Yeah.
I love him. I love that he just fucking slaps him too.
Yeah. John Leguizamo is awesome. Everything he's in, he just shows up everywhere.
I love that he started as the Pest and has just turned into the most awesome guy ever, in and out of movies.
He's like, I don't know. It's like one of those people's like he is such a mature man, like just like it has been for years at this point. But I remember like little punk John Leguizamo and fucking Super Mario movie and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of where he is now. Weird as this to say.
Playing Luigi, and I love him to death, but I will always see the fucking shower dance and song from the beginning of The Pest,
Yep.
which for some reason I love. I don't love the movie The Pest, but I love that part. So John Wick finds out who it is. The mob boss dad calls him to be like, can we just like let this go? And he says absolutely nothing during the phone call, and then hangs up, which is enough. Tells the epic speech about how he is the guy you send to kill the boogeyman. And then
I'm
it's pretty
surprised
much
Esau hadn't heard about this guy before. It's like, oh yeah, this is the guy that like our entire criminal organization was founded on. Didn't you know? That didn't come
you
up.
think it'd come up.
Because apparently everyone in this town knows him by first name on sight, except this one asshole kid.
Yeah, even all his friends like know who John Wick is.
Yeah,
He might just be the shittiest kid ever. I mean,
his mechanic knows who John Wick is. I mean, seriously.
they never say how long John Wick's been retired, but you would think that he was probably alive while his dad was working with him.
I think they said like 4 or 5 years or something like that. So
Yeah,
like
not that long.
Yeah, like he should have been aware.
So then, just like any other shoot 'em up movie, John Wick goes and kills everybody. I do like that when he kills the kid, it's like the most non-scene ever.
Yeah,
just like in passing, just.
Yeah, it doesn't let him monologue. Just like, oh, gotcha. There you are. Bye.
I love that.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I'm like, this is how the movie ends? It's like, I mean, it's been on long enough. It could probably end here.
Movie ends with the epic, rain and thunderstorm hand-to-hand fight with the dad who, like, that wasn't kind of a lame ending, if I'm being honest. He wasn't, like, intimidating.
It just kind of stops. Like, I guess the whole thing, the idea is we're going to make more of them. But, like, yeah, compared to, like, everything that happened before it, it's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, the dad wasn't made out to be, like, some big, scary bad guy. Like, this was going to be a hard fight after everything John Wick just did. Even though all of a sudden he is, like, a decent fighter.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I guess, like okay, we have, like, a couple... I guess, like, he bitch-slapped the fuck out of his son in the beginning. And then he beats the shit out of Willem Dafoe and like ices his knuckles beforehand and shit. So it's like, okay, he's like he knows something about, hitting people.
Sure.
And then it's just like, yeah, I'm just like Russian brawler. And then he's just like, it's done in like 15 seconds.
Yeah. But you should be. And to your point about setting up sequels, they didn't know they were going to have a sequel. They barely got this movie made. I don't know if you saw, there's a documentary type movie that just came out that said, oh, fuck, what's it called? It's like, hang on, let me look up the name. It's Wick is Pain is what it's called. But it's all about how they barely got this movie made. Keanu Reeves funded it with like his own money. And most of the documentary is Keanu Reeves just hurting because he's doing all the actual stuff. They say that all the time you see him like limping in the movie and stuff, that it's probably real.
Yep.
So I don't think they knew they were going to get a sequel here, which is good they did because, like I said, that ending was kind of weak. Mm-hmm. And then John Wick just stumbles into a veterinarian office to staple himself up, picks one dog, and has a new dog.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, pit bull this time. Pit bull.
Yeah. It's like I learned my lesson for the first time.
Yeah, no shih tzus this time. I'm gonna teach you how to fucking defend yourself.
I kind of wish he had just opened all the cages and left with like a fleet of dogs.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then the next movie is just John Wick and his pack of attack dogs. I'd watch that movie.
His black suit's constantly covered in dog hair.
All his nice hair has been like chewed and mangled.
Yeah, the movie, like half of each movie is just pet maintenance. He's giving them medicine and cleaning up dog shit.
Hey, down, no, back, down.
But yeah, that one's John Wick. And then if you want to go through Nobody.
Yeah, Nobody. Let's see here. Let me get my list of names up here so I can keep everything straight. Yeah, we have a movie starring Bob Odenkirk, who plays Huck Mansell. He starts off the movie in the humdum drudge of modern day living, just the eternal cycle of get up, go to work, take out the trash, cook a
Forget the
shitty
trash.
breakfast. Forget the trash. Yes, he always forgets the trash, which I can relate to. I have to take the trash out tonight. God damn it. And just is in like this kind of endless cycle of mediocrity. He's distant from his wife, distant from his kids. Just like to the point, like you get like no sense of his character. And then just one night, randomly, while he and his family are sleeping, a home invader comes in. It's two people, man and a woman, and neither of them have any fucking idea what they're doing. They're just kind of like scrambling around and freaking out and panicking more than Bob Odenkirk is. He gets kind of the drop on him as we start to see like he's got some kind of competency and taking care of himself. He kind of sneaks up on him with a golf club, and like he's about to brain like the guy and like double thinks it, and then his son comes down, gets in the way, and they like hit his son and point a gun at him and rob like what little cash.
He's got him in like a solid ass jujitsu hold on the ground, and
Yep.
could have fucking just destroyed him right then. You find out later why, but yeah.
Yeah. Find out later why I have it. Yeah, then takes like a bowl full of like singles and change, and most importantly, a kitten keychain bracelet.
Yeah, the kitty cat bracelet.
The kitty cat bracelet, the impetus of every piece of action in that movie. And yeah, next day shows up, he kind of gets like shit on by his son and his like wife a little bit for like not being more of a man, and
Get shit on by the cops.
Yeah,
Even the cops
like,
when they
yeah,
show
cops,
up, like, you
cops
pussy.
call him a pussy. Yeah, like, you didn't do anything, sir. Yeah, it's just like really bad. His like son's like, "Yeah, you had him, Dad. What the fuck?" And just you can just see it kind of like just not sitting well with him, brewing with him, and it's like just eventually his daughter's like, "Where's my kitty cat bracelet?" And it's like completely gone, and he remembered seeing
That was it. He just fucking snaps.
and he's just like, "I'll get the goddamn motherfucking bracelet." And yeah, he just heads out, and I forget how he finds them exactly.
Oh, he starts going to tattoo shops.
That's it. Oh yeah. He saw the tattoo on the guy's wrist, and eventually gets the information, kicks in their door, and realizes that it's just like this poor couple with a baby. The gun had no bullets in it.
I loved that. I love that it wasn't
Yeah.
just regular ass action movie where he busts in and kills everybody. That they're all excited about their ramen dinner, and they've got a
Yep.
baby on a ventilator system, and he's just like, God damn it.
Yeah. So now, like, he just like takes the fucking his watch and the kitty bracelet back, and now he's no, not even the kitty bracelet. This is his watch. They didn't have the kitty bracelet. They're like, we don't know. They don't have it. And they're freaking out, and yeah, tells them basically stop fucking around and like straighten up for their kid. Leaves, and now he's on the bus with murder blue balls, and he's just like, I wanted to kill someone and I did not get to. And then as the similarities in these movies, the ubiquitous car full of Russian assholes appears in the scene by literally think just like crashing into a bunch of other cars.
Yeah, they
right?
crash into like one of those concrete roadblocks, and they just all drunkenly stumble out. It in slow mo goes bus.
Yep.
Why? These are both very Russian coded. I just realized that.
Yeah, and then he comes in, and you just see him he's just like, do something, please, do something, please. And and there's like a girl on the bus, and as a bunch of drunk rapscallion Russians are prone to do, they all kind of start circling her, and I don't think they really do anything yet. They're just like kind of like, hey, baby, and he's just like,
Yeah, they're kind of harassing the But as soon as he sees him, he starts like hearing like the happiest music. He's got like a smile on his face, like tells the driver to get off.
Yep, and he's just like, and he just then I guess lovingly beats their asses. Like it's just you just see this like joy in it that he has, that like just like, I get to do this again, yes. And
I love that the fight is hard. I like that it
yeah,
he's
he
not
gets
just a
fucked up.
complete. He gets hurt, and then even when he's like trying to sound badass, he turns around, and he goes, "I'm gonna fuck you up." It wasn't that badass. They were all like, "What the fuck?"
The best thing is like one point he gets like thrown off the bus, and then like they're all just like kind of like all the Russians are trying to like pick themselves up and like put themselves back together, and he just like opens the door and gets back on the bus.
Yes. It's so gritty and looks so
Yeah.
painful. Takes him like 5 whole minutes to get off the ground, which is realistic for somebody his age.
Yeah. No, yeah, he just like dropped like 15 feet through a plate glass window. Like, just fucking took him a second. And then like all the Russians, like as he gets back to the bus, are like, no, no. And, puts all three of them in the hospital, like crushes one's windpipe and like gives him like a tracheotomy with like a fucking straw or something, I think.
That was nasty, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking hate when they... You ever seen Anaconda?
No.
You never seen Anaconda? That's a good ass movie. But yeah, somebody gets like a big ass bee in their like scuba tank thing and inhales it, and then they have to give him a tracheotomy on the ship. I hate watching those in movies. It looks so brutal.
I got trained to do that in Boy Scouts, and it was one of those things like, I hope I never have to do this.
A tracheotomy?
Yeah, it's first.
They teach you that in Boy Scouts?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, no. I mean, everyone forgets the original purpose of Boy Scouts was to get city kids ready for war.
I was never in Boy Scouts. That's fucking wild.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's where I learned to shoot a gun, make an outside shelter, fire, like, all of it.
I thought it was just like badges and shit. Like,
No, I mean,
go look at the forests and everything. I didn't know they were fucking teach. That's fucked up.
No, I got my shotgun merit badge, I got my scuba diving merit badge, my life saving merit badge.
I think you might have been at a special sect of the Boy Scouts to make.
I actually
agents.
was. No, it got creepy. Like
that's what I usually hear about the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, no, there was this point where like I was really excelling because like I was like my best friend was like a fucking militant Boy Scout, and I just like followed along in his wake and like got really far. But there was this thing called the Order of the Arrow, which is like
what?
No one ever. Yeah, exactly. You haven't heard of it? Yeah, it's this like secret Boy Scout thing, and it's like for like elite Boy Scouts only. And like the initiation was like we had to like go out into the forest and like sleep without like anything in the wilderness for 24 hours and like no food for 24 hours and just all this crazy shit.
All right, so you heard it here first, folks. Nick is low-key Batman.
My friends well decided during the Mad Max apocalypse I'm chief, so.
If I ever need a tracheotomy, I'll have Jess call you.
Yeah, I'll be there in 26 hours. Just hold on. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, I know how to do things. I don't do things anymore, but I did.
That's amazing. My dad taught me a lot of stuff, but tracheotomy was not one of them.
Yeah, no, I mean I haven't like fucking like didn't have us hold down a squirrel and like practice on it or anything.
That would have been hilarious if that was how that story ended.
Yeah, no, it's just like a dummy.
And that's why I can't look at squirrels anymore.
Just look into the far distance and hear like cute chittering noises.
Just start having nom flashbacks.
Yeah. My time in Camp Winoke.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so yeah, kicks a bunch of asses. They all survive and get sent to the hospital, and he just goes home, and his wife's waiting for him, and she's like, oh, like there's just not this, like, oh, and I guess like I think we missed in the first part of the movie is like his kid is like, I need to do a report on a veteran. Can I do one on you, Dad? And he's like,
that was such a bummer.
Yeah, and it's like his wife's like, oh well, like your dad wasn't like a real soldier, and he was just like an accountant, and like he's just like, and like looking all shitty in front of his kid, and then like his wife comes home and sees him just like all beat to shit, and she's just like, okay, we doing this again? He's just like, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is her... And once you realize that she knows all this about him, I'm like, what's your problem? Like,
yeah.
what?
No, and also, yeah, she's just been, like, cold and distant to him, like, the entire movie. Like, to the point, like, I know her name now because I'm looking at it on the cast list, but, like, she was just Hutch's wife in the movie.
Right.
And, yeah, then he goes upstairs, and then we cut to a Russian karaoke bar.
I love this scene. I love the guy coming up and singing whatever song that is. I don't know if I missed it this time, but I thought the first time I watched it that it was implied that he used to be like a Russian like pop star. I might have been wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it was implied. I think it's what he wanted to be. Like his passion is he wants to sing and dance and be loved and party. And
wears
shit.
the shiniest suits on earth.
Yes, just a walking pile of sequins and glitter. Yeah, and it's Yulian is that guy's name, and turns out Yulian here is I think is he the father or the uncle of the kid who got fucked up?
I think it was his brother.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like brother. Yeah, it's like his little brother or something like that. And yeah, apparently Yulian right now is like in charge of like the Russian mafia's retirement fund, essentially. Mm-hmm. and he's currently holding it at his club, and everyone's all mad at him that he's like having fun and being silly. So to prove he's not so silly, he slits some random guy's throat with a fucking martini glass, and everyone's like, "Yeah, see, I'm still a badass." And everyone's like, oh, "Okay, I guess he's still kind of a badass."
Oh yeah, they're like he was one of the shareholders. They're like, you know what that means? We all get his money. Yay!
Yeah, it's like, yay! So it's just a bunch of psychopaths. We just establish everyone here is terrible, and then he finds out his brother's been killed, or not killed, but like basically put into a coma. Like he's like brain dead essentially, and he tries to find out who did it and hires this little hacker girl. Hacker girl finds Hutch's documents, and they are completely blacked out. She's like, "Oh, I see. Bye," and just like throws them all at him. And the only thing you can see on it is just nobody. Is like the one
that
thing
was
that's
fucking
like not redacted.
sick.
Yep.
I loved that. She just like rains down the papers on him and was like, "I'm out. Bye."
Yeah, like there's not even enough time to hand him the papers. Just like chucks it in the room. It's like, "You're fucked," and leaves. And goes out, and then Yulian sends a task force of Russian hitmen. No, they weren't in suits. It was John Wick. They were in suits, but I think they're just in like tactical gear. Yeah, and sent to Bob Odenkirk's house, and he gets a heads up. I think is it by his like CB friend.
Yes, yeah, who ends up being his like basically brother, I guess. But
yeah, brother-in-law. Or no, that's not brother-in-law. Blake Hutchison. I'm not sure who that is.
No, it was the guy who was on the CB with the whole movie who comes in at the end of the movie, and it's like they show pictures at one point of him, Christopher Lloyd, and a black kid, and that's who that is on the CB radio.
Okay. I completely
it's
missed
like
that
his
part,
adopted brother.
Yeah, so his adopted brother. Like I think like he was like the Russians are mobilizing and to like get down, and he takes his family to the basement and starts like transforming his house. It's got like it's secret like a panic room in it, and like all
don't
these, like,
call 911 and then shuts the door. I thought that was awesome.
I guess that was another great thing from John Wick is like after the initial assault is like when the cops show up and it's just like,
yeah, you working again, John?
Yeah, it's like maybe it's like, all right, have a good night, and just leaves. But yeah, comes in and they all breach the house, and he proceeds to become fucking Jason from fucking Friday the 13th.
That was just the most
Michael
silent.
Myers.
Just walking around with a kitchen knife, just suddenly the most dexterous, silent individual on earth.
Yeah, just like they don't even know they're dying. Like it's just like he's just like like, knife, and then they're just fucking dead immediately.
Yeah, that was amazing. Doesn't he get tased or something at the end of it though?
Yeah, well that's the thing. Yeah, it's like he does all this badass shit. Then of course he's older now and his reaction time's a little slower, and someone comes up behind him and just tases him in the neck, and he wakes up in a car trunk, and really bad ideas on their part, like fucking because like not only did they not disable the fucking emergency release latch from the trunk, but they also left a fucking like fire extinguisher in there.
Yo, like, why is that in the car?
Yeah, I mean it's like because it needed to be for the plot. Because, but yeah, he takes out the fire extinguisher, makes the entire car crash, like kills everyone in there. Like the black Russian guy who like they reference as a black Russian a few times and
comes up immediately, and they're like he was an Olympic athlete and his father was Ethiopian, and
it's like all this backstory. I'm like, oh, are you gonna like chase him down at some point using like his Ethiopian? No, none of that comes into play.
Nope.
He just gets crushed in half by a car, and then like as he's dying, like Bob Odenkirk's like, you know who I am? Well, here's my story, and like starts telling his backstory of like who he is, and before he can get into it, he looks down, he's dead, and like that's a joke that keeps
like,
going on throughout the story. Yeah. Just wants someone to know, like even if they're dying. But
he says it with a general sense of wonderment, though, and he's like, "I've never met a black Russian." And he's like, "I get that a lot." And then
then goes home, takes a shower before he lets his family out of the basement, which I thought was funny.
That is one of the most realistic parts as far as being a dad. He's like, I just want a goddamn minute.
Like, they'll be fine. They're safe in there. It's 5 goddamn minutes. Need a shower. There's shit in the shower to shave. Then I'll go fucking find my family. Yeah, goes and takes him out and basically says like, "Yeah, Dad's got some shit to do, honey. Everyone leave." And I think that's like the last we see of the family until like the very end of the fucking movie.
Yeah. Which is good. I like that they didn't go with the trope that the family's being held hostage now and everything.
Yeah. So then he hits the self-destruct button on his house that's always been there apparently after getting all of his gold and money and weapons out, which I don't know if I'm comfortable with the self-destruct in my house. Like,
Not especially when you have fucking kids, dude.
yeah, he's like, it's like, yeah, this basement is set to burn at 75,000 degrees enough to turn bones into ash and hide all of my murders. I'm just like, and you're just sleeping on top of that every fucking day? Like, what if there's a power surge? Or, like...
I don't care how fucking Black Ops trained you are. Children will find it.
Yeah. Like, is there a button that activates this thing? Is it a big, glowy, shiny red button that a kid can go, ooh, boop?
I want to see, like, a Robot Chicken sketch where the kids just find that button. He's just like, no!
Yeah, so yeah, then burns his entire life down and says, like, I knew this was all a facade and I never deserved it. And,
he kind of implies that he's just like, yeah, my heart just wasn't really in. I tried. I'm not a dad.
yeah, really. Yeah,
Too late,
like,
bro. You have the kids now.
It's like, that was fun for a while, I guess. It's kind of like that is like a huge tonal thing between these two movies where, like, John Wick feels like he's doing everything with this, like, heavy air of regret and sadness. Like, even though he's killing these people, he's, like, doing it, like, as efficiently and, like, mercifully in a weird way as possible. But, like, Bob Odenkirk is like, ooh, knife.
Here I go killing again.
Yeah, he's just like,
when he says don't call 911, it's like, don't take this from me.
Yeah. It's not like we'll get in trouble. It's like, nah, Dad is about to have some fun.
Yeah, he's kind of a psycho. He's got all those dead bodies set up on the couch, like one guy alive, while he sits there and finally tells his life story.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, okay, you're barely alive. Yeah, and he goes into his whole life story about how he was like the FBI, CIA's like accountant, which means like if someone goes rogue or steals money or sells secrets, he's the guy that shows up to assassinate them.
Right.
And that's where he's got all those skills. And while he's cleaning up all his house too, he calls his dad, Christopher Lloyd, and he's like, "You may have some, you may have some company." And cuts to his like a retirement home, and these two thugs are coming in just to put down an old man, and Christopher Lloyd's just fucking waiting for him with the sawed off.
It was amazing, dude. I love that part. And he's the same way. He turns around just like, fuck yeah, boom.
Yeah, and he's like, yes. Yeah, and then like the orderly hears the gunfire, and like Christopher Lloyd is like pretends to be watching some fucking like World War II documentary while he chokes the life out of this guy in front of him. And just like the perspective of the chair makes it so the orderly can't see him. And that was great. And yeah, and then he just gathers up all the shotguns, and then we get to up to that point it's been really real and gritty and realistic. And I feel like once we're past here is when we start getting into like fantasy land a little bit more.
Yeah, it turns into fucking G.I. Joe Home Alone. He walks in and punches his brother-in-law in the gut and hands the dude a bunch of gold to buy the shop. Just to set it up to kill a bunch of people.
Exactly. Yeah, and okay, so I get all that. The thing that like I remember like really taking note of in the story is how the fuck does he know where Julian is and where like the fucking money is? And are they in the same place? Like that was one thing that was really unclear to me.
So I know I think he gets one of the guys and like gets them to tell him what the Ob Shack is, but I don't know how. I don't feel like they would know where it is.
Yeah, because then he just like immediately goes there, and it feels very underguarded for what it is. Like,
right,
it feels like
it's
there
like
was more
two
assholes.
dudes and some ladies inside the vault for some reason.
Yeah, I guess like the whole point was like no one knew where it was. Is like how it was defended. Like it was just very strange. Like that part of the movie was just like. Felt odd and rushed to me. It was just a little off. And then, goes down there, kills like the handful of guards, like no problem, like barely an inconvenience. Lets the two ladies go, and then like burns the entire Russian like retirement plan. Object, that's it. Yeah, and it also has like a bunch of blackmail material in it too. And then goes directly from there to Julian's restaurant where he does like his karaoke thing.
And he
And then
sits
like,
there with the only lone table, like, obviously stands out, just eating a steak dinner.
yep, like, yeah, it's just did he ask for that table? Like, was it just open and he just took his opportunity? I'm not sure. Yeah, and then pulls like the boss ass Joker move of like, why shouldn't we kill you right now? It's like, well, because I have a bomb, and pulls out a claymore, like a fucking like string to detonate it. He walks out, and yeah, I think then after that, I think it's down to the factory fight, right?
Yeah, he tells him he burnt the ob shack by showing him like half of a burnt $100 bill or some shit.
Yep.
And the guy's like kind of cool at first. He's like, you know, we should just like let all this go. We're old man. We could move on from this and everything. We'll be fine. And the guy's like, yeah, we will. And then he's like, I burnt your ob shack. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
And
Yes,
I
then-
guess because of the bomb, that's why they let him leave.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Because that thing's just basically like a massive shotgun. Like it'll just kill everyone in that
But he
room.
has a
when it goes
sweet
off.
car scene from his douchebag neighbor where
Yep.
he's like begging them to chase him to the warehouse.
That was it too. Yeah, it was just like he waited so they could see him, and then made them fall. Yet again, it's all this thing where it's just like he is loving every second of this. Like in my head, it's like if Archer retired, and,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
got married and had kids, then just like nope, done with this shit. Like this is what it feels like.
Yeah, it has the part where he like gets away from them because a semi truck comes through and cuts it off. Which in any other action movie is like he got away and he stops and he's like, "Come on."
Yep.
I
Yeah, then
love
we have
that.
a much more brutal car fight scene than in John Wick, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that car gets destroyed.
Yeah, like this ain't no car ballet. It goes full demolition derby in this shit.
Yeah, which might have helped that it wasn't his car, but
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
he repeats the line from his neighbor when he gets in the car, when he's like 0 to 60, and I'm about to find the fuck out.
Yep.
It's like,
so
is
that-
this just an ad for Chargers?
Yeah, and then I think he's like about to get killed, and then like in both movies, the savior sniper fucking comes and saves his ass.
Love it. Yeah, RZA shows up, starts sniping from the roof. So remember when I said I wasn't going to come save your white ass? And then they have a family reunion in the warehouse.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd just like Van Damme's the front door to the warehouse and comes out and like double barrel shotguns in each hand. And they all run.
Somehow
in
they
and-
have enough time for Bob Odenkirk to set up hundreds of weird makeshift IEDs.
Yeah. No, it's
Mousetrap bombs that shoot shotgun shells through the wall.
Yeah, no, it's basically Home Alone with realistic consequences. Like,
That was cool to see, but also felt like a lot of it was super unnecessary.
yeah, it because like I said, the first parts of the movie had this like gritty, like visceral realism to them, but now we're just like it's a comedy basically at this point. Like it's a bunch of goons running around a booby trap warehouse, just going yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
And
Just
even
getting
when
fucking
everybody runs out of ammo, and his solution is to tape a claymore to the front of. I guess this factory makes windows. I don't know.
Riot,
But he
I think
picks
riot-
up-
it was a riot shield, I think.
He takes literally just like a piece of glass, makeshifts a riot shield out of it, duct tapes a claymore to the front of it, and somehow this glass withstands the blast of that claymore. And I'm just like, you could have just thrown the fucking claymore at him, dude.
Yeah, but that wasn't really as cool.
No, it was sick, but completely unnecessary.
Yeah, and then I think if I remember correctly, this is another movie just kind of ends like.
Definitely sets up a sequel. 'Cause-
Oh yeah, Christopher Lloyd and RZA are fucking road tripping to California with like a fucking arsenal.
Yeah, and he goes to buy a new house, and like while they're looking at the house, his phone rings, and he's like, "Who is this?" And then he looks at his wife, and he's like, "We're gonna need and she's like, "A panic room," or whatever they call it, and then that's the end of the movie. Oh, and he gets a kitten. I think that's definitely a big nod to John Wick.
Yeah.
That he just finds a kitten, and then he's sitting there getting questioned with the kitten.
Well, earlier it's like his daughter's like, "We need a cat," and he's like, "I think you're right." And I guess it was like the shop cat or something, which now doesn't have a home. But yeah, I swear to God, the entire reason that cat was there was for the initial shot when he's in like the police interrogation, petting the cat. Just like, how do you
Yeah.
get the cat? It's just like, I picked it up at the end of the movie. But it's like, it's not relevant to the story whatsoever.
One other thing, I like that he take that douchey brother-in-law gives him a pistol. It's like, protect my sister next time. And
Yep.
he just sticks it in the freezer at work. And nobody finds this pistol in the freezer in the Jimmy Dean's box.
I guess no one likes Jimmy Dean's.
And it never freezes. Like, he pulls it out of the freezer and it works perfectly.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, I like the subtle nod to John Wick with the cat instead of a dog. And then the shameless sequel setup that I didn't even remember until I rewatched it. I'm like, because I wasn't expecting a sequel to Nobody at all. And then I rewatch it, I'm like,
dumb.
oh, they totally set that up.
But I guess, yeah, if you think about it, like, he killed, like, one Russian mob boss, and he killed, like, the entire Russian mob's retirement fund, so...
Yeah, it definitely
more
makes
story
sense
there.
that there will be more coming for him, but yeah. Good-ass movie. I didn't remember RZA being in this. I also didn't pick up on it until I watched it this time that they were like, that was like his adopted brother.
Yeah, I
And
didn't even pick that up the first time.
That they did this stuff as kids. Like, when it shows the pictures of... He kind of hints at it a couple times that him and his brother and his dad would just do this shit their whole lives. No mention of a mother ever.
Well, this is not a family that looks like it had a mother in the picture at any
Yeah.
point. Just all, like, unspoken, like, get the guns? Yeah, get the guns. Like, just without even having to have a, like, verbal request for it.
I like that RZA, like, shows his expertise with a sniper rifle. And then for the rest of the warehouse fight, like, only uses the sniper rifle. Like, you can guns.
Yeah, no, I'm the sniper guy, so I gotta, yeah, but it's like, he gets, like, the fucking triple headshot at one point, like, they'll line up and, like, okay, it seems like bullshit.
With a large rifle swinging around. I'm like, you're gonna get fucked
like,
up.
do a baton and shit, but yeah, but, like, the only time I've seen the triple headshot in real life was fucking Halo.
Right. Yeah. It'd be cool if they snuck in a little triple kill.
Yeah, just, like, really quiet.
All right, well, let's hop into round one. Which one had the best action sequence? Which one was most jaw-dropping, pulse-pounding action set piece? Red Circle Club shootout, or the bus brawl, or the warehouse?
Yeah, I don't know, I love John Wick, but, like, it does suffer from some what the fuck is going on at this exact moment, like, syndrome, where it's just like, it is dark, things are moving very fast, everyone is wearing a black suit, and I can't, like, tell exactly the cool thing that you just did.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I hate that shit. When fight choreography revolves around a lot of camera work, and I can, like, feel my eyes getting stressed out from trying to follow what I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would honestly say, like the bus fight scene really stood out to me, like, among all these movies, like, or both these movies. Because, like John Wick, it's like, he's at a 10 the entire time going through this shit. There's, like, never a variable of his, like, you know.
Like, getting back into it, like, shaking the rust off.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, let's do this 5 years, haven't done this in 5 years, I will kill an entire house full of people, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, yeah,
perfect expertise. And I like you mentioned, I love the difference, because they kind of have the same people came to my house, they fucked around and found out scene. But I liked Nobody's better. I liked he's just quietly just skirting through the background, stab somebody, disappears.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, because, like, John Wick is, like, dancing around like a fucking ballerina, which is, it's cool. Like, it's very
fucking gun kata, dude.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Bingo.
I love gun kata.
I literally thought that during that scene. I'm like, this fucking gun kata.
Yeah. Whereas, like, Bob Odenkirk is just like, no, this is the simplest way to kill a human. Like,
and in the bus scene where, like, he gets stabbed, right? I think at least once. So he grabs a fucking seatbelt thing, I think, and wraps it around his arms. And it was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, he, like, chokes the dude out with the fucking, like, emergency stop fucking thing, and, like, breaks one dude's arm in the bar. Yeah, it's just, it uses the entire space. Like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, the Deadpool-Wolverine fight inside the Honda Odyssey.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you're really utilizing every single aspect of this space in this fight in a unique and interesting way.
Yeah, I loved that. I think, I like, it was unique in John Wick, I know that people praised it for a really long time. They showed how John Wick or Keanu Reeves went through like actual course training, like how to
Yeah.
hold guns and stuff. But like during the like house fight and everything, there's parts where like it just doesn't make sense that you're still using a gun right now.
Yeah, and beyond that, some of the effects in the gunfight did not hold up great. Like there are a lot of like digital blood like things put onto people's faces and like digital squibs. But they had to because it was like so close and shit. Like an actual blank can kill you. Like if it's like close enough to you.
Right. Yeah,
And
well,
like
otherwise you end up with rust.
exactly, or like even like when he's like doing like when when they're fighting over the knife, like the knife turns into CGI as it like goes into the dude's chest. It's
Yeah. I did
yeah.
like that he like punches the knife in instead of the old who's gonna push the hardest. He's just like fucking get in there.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just like it just feels like he's just like, it's like, okay, turn down the murder switch where like, Bob Odenkirk's just like, oh fuck, I haven't done this in 10 years.
Yes.
And I got kind of a paunch now and I'm not in good
And he's
shape.
just got like when he gets up off the ground and goes back in the bus, he's beat to shit, but he's just got this look in his eye that is everybody's like, fuck.
Like they'll like step back a bit like after outnumbering him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even. What does it say? Red Circle Club? Which one was that?
Yeah. Exactly. That was the one where he catches up to the son the first time, like in the basement, I think.
Oh, in like the sauna shit, the pool
Yeah.
house. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that was. I like the. It was kind of weird because they didn't really hype the guy up enough, but like that one single bodyguard just kept fucking him up the whole movie.
One competent one, yeah. Who, like he kept having like dodge and like actually get away from him and shit.
Throws his ass off of a balcony.
Yeah, and he just gets up. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, John Wick like shoots at him one time from the ground, and he's like, "All right, I'm out." And I'm like, "You have the advantage here."
I mean, to be fair, he's smart. He's like, nope, John Wick's got a beat on me. I'm fucking backing the fuck off.
Yeah, true. I think I would give. I don't know that I'd give either one of them a 10 because, like you said, as nobody goes on, it gets more like fantastical, like completely imaginary fights. I think I'd give nobody like an 8.
Yeah, I'd say that too. It's very good. It's not perfect, and there's definitely things I can point out that weren't perfect, but as a whole, it's very strong. Whereas John Wick, not a bad movie. I give it like a 7. Like it's got it's got its good points, but there was like a few things that definitely, as a modern watcher, stood out to me that was just like that didn't really land the way it should, and everything's a little hectic and quick and.
Yeah, no, the thing that I remembered the most before watching this again was the bus fight scene because of just how painful it makes it look and feel. So, yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I got it just said heads up mic issue detected.
Oh, yeah, no, it keeps doing that to me too. Keep saying I'm too loud.
Okay, well, as long as it's actually, hold on. Take a break right here. I'm just going to grab a drink real quick. 2 seconds.
Okay. Gucci?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so yeah, round 1 going to nobody. 8-7. Round 2 is going to be lead performance. Who wears the crown as the unstoppable, reluctant badass? Bob Odenkirk or Keanu Reeves?
Well, I mean, for Bob Odenkirk, I wouldn't say reluctant necessarily. More like enthusiastic.
Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, just based on, why does it say reluctant? That's dumb. But unstoppable, I think John Wick, probably.
Yeah, because Odenkirk was stoppable. He got stopped a few times.
Got stopped a couple times, yeah.
Got back up and kept going,
like,
but
almost supernatural level, like, you know, they definitely paint him to be an almost mythic being in that
they even
speech.
call him Baba Yaga, it's just like which isn't the boogeyman. It's the whole different thing. It's like the Russian.
Right.
Oh, if you play Strahd long enough in my campaign, you'll meet an equivalent. But yeah, it's like the Russian witch who lived in the forest with a house that had chicken legs that would run around and steal children. But
I do really want to see, like, they try to paint it like he's lost a little speed here just from describing the way he used to be, and it, like you said, he seems reluctant during the movie, but like when they describe the impossible mission, I would really love to see a prequel of what the impossible mission was.
Yeah. It's like I'm guessing it was like taking out like entire other crime families or something like that. To
Yeah,
like,
basically which it's, I don't know. I want to see what's impossible about it because he does it in all these movies with zero
yeah.
problem.
I mean, I guess unless that's just like the standard now. It used to be impossible in the '90s, and now it's just like
Yeah.
everything's
I mean, yeah, not a super lot of debate here. I think as far as character wise, John Wick is just like completely unstoppable. At no point in the movie did I ever feel like he might lose. There's definitely
No.
parts of Nobody where I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of old people. This might not work out.
It's like, oh shit, his sciatica just flared up. He might be in trouble here. or even, I swear to God, I thought Christopher Lloyd was going to die at some point during the movie. Like that was
Me too.
I
It
was
definitely
like,
felt
Dad.
setting it up for that. Like, yeah. Which would have been kind of cool to have the two sons just go full rage mode, but
Yeah.
I love Christopher Lloyd, so I'm happy I didn't have to watch him die.
And he's not been choosing great movies in the past few
What's he been doing now?
Oh god, I mean the last thing that I can remember was oh god, I can't remember what it was called. It was like it is one of the lowest grossing movies of all time. It's like it's not The Wiggles, but it's something like that. It's like this kid's movie.
What?
Yeah, and like he was a character in it. Oh god, let me see if I can look it up. I mean, they have a character called Herbert Hoover in it who's a vacuum. Like it's
Apparently, he is in the Ballerina movie, the new John Wick movie.
All right,
Fucking
John
traitor.
Wick.
Was it tuned out?
No, it wasn't that one. Hold on, I got his IMDb here. It was more recent than that. I think it was like 2000 stuff.
Yeah, that was 2025.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that recent. It was a little further than that. Hold on. Who the hell was
He was in The Mandalorian?
Yeah, that's what I just saw, yeah.
Spirit Halloween? What has he been? What the fuck is going on with Christopher Lloyd?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, he's such a good actor, and, like, he should be recognized for that. Did Kingdom Hearts 3? What the fuck?
Sometimes I don't trust IMDb because
Yeah.
Guns and Moses? What the fuck is that? That sounds awesome.
Is it? Maybe they scrubbed it from here. I wouldn't blame them.
That would be able to...
No, that wasn't it. That was another terrible children thing. The Oogie Loves and the Big Balloon Adventure. That's what I was thinking about.
What the fuck? I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, no, damn straight you haven't.
He's been in a lot more shit than I was expecting to see on here. I want to find out what Guns and Moses was and why he's in Knuckles. But yeah, that I would give, as far as I gotta give Unstoppable for that kind of thing, I gotta give a 10 to John Wick there.
Yeah, he's kind of the definition of like the unstoppable hitman kind of thing. Like
Right.
the whole thing where the boss is like at a point like losing his fucking mind at the end. It's like, he's gonna kill me. It's like I need a gun. It's just like take my gun. It won't matter.
I think I'd give Nobody like an 8 maybe.
I'd even say a 7. He's like he gets taken out by a taser. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Not badass.
Locked in a trunk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no huge debate there. Round 3, though, is going to be emotional stakes. Who gives us more feels under the gunfire? Dead wife and puppy, or midlife crisis and stolen kitty bracelet?
Yeah. I mean, okay, like what I can
Dead dog
empathize
always
with-
wins.
Yeah, dead dog wins. I can maybe empathize a little bit more with like the nobody situation where it's just like, yeah, shit sucks, and sometimes you just want to like fucking just completely like let loose and lose it. But like, yeah, the pathos of the movie is just kind of not there for nobody.
Yeah, no, it's really playing hard into the fantasy of every aging father where I'm not respected enough. Like, you guys don't even know what a badass I am.
Yeah. Just
Which
watch
just-
like when I get activated and see what happens. Ugh.
And I will always remember the John Wick scene where he is tied up and he is like, your son, That was my last gift from my wife. That was all I had, was someone to mourn with. And he's like, so you can either give me your son or die alongside him screaming. Like, I love that part.
Yeah, and then like 30 seconds later, he's just like fucking sprinting after him. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he's fucking terrifying. Yeah. And I love Keanu Reeves. When he wants to act hard, he acts his ass off.
Yeah, no, because like it's just, Bob Odenkirk's character is just like, yeah, I'm reliving my glory days, and I didn't really have consequences for my actions. Woo!
Yeah, there's super comedy coded for nobody, which I love. But emotional stakes definitely goes to John Wick. I wouldn't give it a 10 necessarily, because they only seem to do it in key moments. You don't know his wife.
No, like, we get like a couple of, like, I think we get one flashback of his wife, and it's like the same one. Oh no, it's the same video twice. It's like all we know about her.
Yeah, it's like him in the hospital with her, gets her necklace.
Yeah, like she's as much of a character as like the wife in Up, where it's just like, here's just enough to establish that he is sad. And
even nice. Up though is a tearjerker when it shows the montage. I don't really feel anything for the wife ever.
No, she's just like, we're running, we're happy, fall down, hospital, dead. Like,
right. I like that they showed. I mean, they really. I don't even know if they knew they were striking such gold with the "you kill a dog, everyone dies" trope that they invented. And that I love that. But yeah, emotional stakes I'd give to John Wick, but not a 10. Mm-hmm. I'd probably give it a 7 and give Nobody like a 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because there is like really not an emotional stakes in Nobody. Like, his family is pretty much safe as soon as he puts them down in the bunker. Then they just leave, and then he's just fucking off to the races and having fun with a smile on his face the entire time.
Which I love for its own reasons, but for that category.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like unrepentant, like, fucking chaos gremlin is always fun to watch. But yeah, but for actual pathos and ethos and like feelings and like you see him executing just with like the seriousness and the sadness and this weight to it. Or Bob Odenkirk's like, it's time to stab.
That's great. They should just rename that movie and It's Time to Stab. Round 4, world building. Which movie sets up a cooler universe? Continental versus the hinted at covert past of Hutch. Yeah, I think they were both dope. One thing we didn't talk about in the summary is the tattoo scene where Bob Odenkirk's in there and they're like, you came to the wrong fucking place to be asking questions, and then that veteran guy sees the 2 cards on his wrist, and he's like, oh fuck, and then runs back and starts
for your service and runs it and locks the fucking steel door.
Goes, you too, old timer, and then he starts locking up, and then everybody just tells him what he wants to know.
Yep.
I do want to know a lot more about what that was.
No, it gave me a lot of good questions, like, definitely. And, like, the whole joke of him trying to explain his backstory to someone bleeding out is, like, a great, like, triple beat.
I think it's hilarious because, you can definitely feel a lot of the influence of John Wick in Nobody. And that they don't just copy it, they almost poke a little fun at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Lampoons it a little bit. Like, there's still respect to it, but it's just like, this is a little ridiculous, and we're also going to lean into that fact and have fun.
Yeah, you hear John Wick's essential summary at least twice in the movie where they're like, he's the big bad guy, he's the guy who's going to kill the boogeyman, and then Nobody, he keeps trying to tell people that he's the boogeyman, and they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, or I'm dead. Like,
or I'm dead.
You're a badass too effectively.
I think John Wick has the benefit, though, that I've seen more of the lore, and I love the lore. They made a whole TV show off the lore called The Continental.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is because, like, John Wick is show don't tell, and Nobody is tell don't show. So, because, like, it's just like you have the tokens and the Continental, and it's like this larger organization that has far-reaching, like,
has like rules and shit.
Yeah, and
the part where the I can't remember his name. I love that actor though. He's from Deadwood. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that owns the Continental, basically.
The British guy. Was he important enough to get a thing? Was he Winston? Ian McShane?
I don't remember. Ian, did you say Ian McShane? That sounds
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
Ian
seems.
McShane,
Yeah, there you go.
aka Odin.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I love the part where that girl broke the rules of the Continental, and you're like, oh, that's lame that nothing happens. And then they
yeah,
just appear from the shadows, and he's like, you're dead. And then they just
yeah.
all
Just like
disappear.
one shot from each direction. Oh, the cleaners, like dinner for
Yes.
12. Yeah, those guys are
I
great.
love all of that.
Yeah, no.
I love the codes they have for how they talk about everything, how calm everybody is around all this
Hmm.
shit.
There's a
I
noise
got
complaint, sir.
have to give that to Wick, and
Yeah.
I would almost say a 10 for John Wick because I love that they dig into that lore a bit. It's
Well, now we got
intriguing.
spin-offs and sequels and TV shows and stuff, so there's just a dearth of lore to go through, whereas we just have a little breadcrumbs at this point for nobody.
I would give Nobody an 8 because I like the mystique surrounding it.
Yeah, there's something going on,
It's
but we're not...
almost scarier because you don't know, for most of it at least, like what. I don't know why. I still don't know why what the card tattoo means. I don't know why that means he's so scary.
I guess it means he's part of a group or something, like it's at least enough that, like, people that have that tattoo are dangerous is commonly known somewhat.
Ah, yeah. No, I hope the second one dives into that a little more. I have a bad feeling that the sequel is going to be a lot more campy, though. Like, it's going
Yeah.
to suffer from its own success a little bit.
Well, and now too, they've already established that like huge amount of guns and explosives and shit. Like that's it's like they just have like 20,000 Chekhov's guns in that van. Where I feel like nobody benefited from having a smaller scope than John Wick
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I've already seen the bits of the trailer I've seen for the new one are already like way more summer blockbustery and like leaning into the jokes a lot harder. I have a feeling I'm not going to
Yeah.
like it, but I hope I'm surprised.
Yeah,
So we're going into round 5. Single most creative or brutal kill between both movies. Yes, you can argue for the pencil.
yep. There's I don't know. There's a few ones. I want to say the most creative kill and the most brutal kill are definitely different. And I have like okay, the two in John Wick that immediately come to mind are one is when he kills the kid, or I say the kid, the son, when it's just like no nonsense, walks up to him, bang, and just fucking walks away without him like really getting to say anything. This is because the contrast of it was great. But
Isn't
the
there a
one
part
that,
where he snaps a dude's neck on the table?
maybe I can't remember that
During
one.
the house fight, isn't there a part where the dude's like laying on a table and he just cracks his neck over the
Oh
edge of the
yeah,
table?
yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, no, the like yeah, brutal in John Wick. Yeah, I mean he doesn't
Nothing
really he's not
super
really a
stands
sadist.
out to me.
Yeah,
It has
'cause
that
it's
thing where everything starts to kind of feel the same.
Yeah,
His neck snap over the table is one of the first thing that comes up when I look this up.
I guess maybe like the thing you had before the knife hammer hit the bah 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 like
Yeah.
and like it finally hits him like that's pretty fucking like the struggle over it is pretty brutal and all the fucking like angles
Or
they're getting
when
at
he
each
pins
other.
the guy to the wall, reloads, and then shoots him in the head.
Yep.
Thought that
there's
was
some
kind
good
of
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, it's the
But
most
I
creative
really like the bus fight.
Yeah.
He gets
there was,
super
like,
creative during that fight.
Yeah, there's more moments that stand out specifically to me that. But I want to say for John Wick, the one it was very quick, but it stood out to me is at the very end when he's like chasing down the main bad guy heading towards the helicopter. He runs a guy over. He goes over the car, but while he's going over the car, he shoots him through the fucking
yeah.
roof. Yeah,
That
was
was
just
sick.
like ooh. So you always make
Yeah.
sure because like that might not have killed him. It's just like da 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 da, like perfectly
That
just
was
moving.
super cool.
But
And
yeah,
adds
that
to the
was
whole
probably-
supernatural gun kata shit he's got going on.
Yeah, just knows where he is, like just by like
I think-
reflex.
Like I said, I possibly the most creative part from Nobody is the fucking Claymore shield, but I also
Yeah.
didn't really like that.
No, yeah, I was gonna say it's the most creative kill, but like just knowing what I know about explosives, like Bob Odenkirk would not be walking away from that. Like he might have survived.
Might have
But,
survived,
like-
but he's not standing back up and just dusting
No.
himself off.
Yeah, no, his arm is like at least broken, if not fucking just shredded.
Just completely shattered.
Yeah, and I mean, at least I know Claymore is like too. They shoot one direction, but still, it's like for
Right.
every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So like you're still getting like shrapnel and shit coming back at you. And yeah,
But
that
also
was
the way
very,
Claymores work, all that running would have set it off.
Yeah. Also, he wouldn't have needed to run. He could just have set it off over there and would have killed that entire half the fucking room.
Yeah.
Like, probably would have done more damage further away because had more time to, like, spread.
The shotgun shell mousetraps are pretty creative, but again,
Yeah.
pretty fucking unrealistic.
Yeah, that whole last
he would have
bit,
been able
kinda...
to point it in a direction if it's
No.
not secured to anything. It would have just
Exactly.
launched across
And
the
also,
room.
there's no compression on the shells either, so it's just going to be like firecrackers, essentially. Yeah,
Right.
there's all kinds of problems with that. Yeah, no, that
I
whole
think
last
that-
scene was fun, but not in tone with the rest of the movie, I feel.
No, it
Yeah.
definitely took a direction there, which, like I said, I'm afraid is going to be the whole direction of the sequel.
Yeah, but for that one, I'd
And
say
when
the
you
most brutal
when you
kill is-
mentioned the one through the car, I love that,
Yeah.
and the neck snap, I will always remember.
Yeah, those two are great. I will say, I think the most brutal kill I want to say from Nobody, though, is like that knife initial thing. Because it's like, up until this point, we've seen him, like, hurt people seriously. And we know he's competent, but, like, once there's guns in his house, he just comes out like fucking Michael Myers. He's like, like, fucking, that's the one that fucking stands like, oh shit, Bob Odenkirk, we fucking doing shit now. All right. Like, that's the most brutal one. Probably the Claymore is the most creative, and same with, like, the shotgun. Well, we'll just say the whole Home Alone house factory trap was probably the most creative kill. We'll put that all together.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But, yeah, it's like, I don't know if it goes too far past the point of creativity where it becomes silly.
I think it does. I think it
Yeah.
eventually does. I think John Wick pretty consistently has, in a sea of just bullets flying and people dropping, there's always at least one or two in each fight that is like
Yeah.
super cool and like
Unique
something I
and
haven't really
interesting.
seen before. Like, I've never seen somebody get, back slammed onto a countertop and then crack their neck and, like you said, shoot through the car. I would give this one to... I think I'd give Wick, I don't know, 9 feels right to me.
Yeah, and probably like a 7 for Nobody, because that last bit, I
because
feel,
of the end of
hurts
the
it.
movie.
Yeah. Like, if they just kept it a little more gritty and realistic and not turned the last bit into a video game, like triple headshot, Claymore shield, like, it just...
Yeah, just a kid playing with his G.I. Joes.
Yeah. Shotgun mousetraps! Like, it's just, you just say these things in sequence, it's like, that doesn't sound very serious.
You just threw a bunch of minorly threatening words into a blender.
Yep.
Shotgun mousetrap? Yeah. Rewatchability, which flick makes you hit play again faster? Honestly, nobody.
It's got
You know.
more of a enjoyable performance. Because John Wick, I was like, near the end, I was starting to get a little worn out. Like,
That's how I feel with a lot of action movies. And
yeah.
as unique as John Wick is, it is still at its core just flat out action movie.
Yeah.
And
Like,
nobody has a
pretty
lot of comedy, and just the fact that they casted Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah,
I
that's
would have.
the least action movie action star you've ever seen. Yeah, like, honestly, like, once, like, Esoff gets killed, like, in the fucking warehouse, like, I'm like, okay, we're done, right? We got 30 minutes left. What the fuck?
Yeah, they kind of dragged that out.
Yeah.
Just
that-
more car stuff. They really,
Yeah.
really love the cars in that movie.
And then, like, they kill William Dafoe, because fucking apparently John Wick needs more reason to kill this guy. Like,
Right. Yeah. No, that was a little confusing as to what his motivation was there. And also, like,
Yeah.
as far as, like, best business practice, if you put out an open contract and kill one of them because he didn't do it, like,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, fuck you, I'm not taking your contract.
like, honestly, as much as I love me some Willem Dafoe, he could have not been in this movie and the plot would have not changed whatsoever.
Oh, 100%. And I really thought it was gonna turn into a Defoe versus Wick fight, which would have been a way cooler
Yeah.
fight than Wick versus fat, aging Russian mob boss.
Exactly. I thought it was going to come down to, like, it was going to be like a sniper versus, like, John Wick's close range shit, which would have been great, where it's like he has to maneuver himself to the point he can start getting shots because he's, like, in a fucking building over there or something. Like, that would have been such a cool scene. Like,
Yeah, no, rewatchability. I would most times, obviously, it's going to be a bit because I just watched both of them.
yeah.
Especially if I'm like trying to watch with somebody, like if I could talk Jess into watching Nobody more than I can John Wick, just because it's got
No. My
it's
roommate
more
has been
amusing.
watching all these movies with me, but I was like, it's John Wick and nobody. She's like, nope.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like the most testosterone fueled weekend I've had for a while with movies.
Nobody's a lot easier to sell. Everybody loves, especially because like he's coming off the steam of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and like I said, you would have never. Who like if you're just saying who would you cast in a slightly comedic version of John Wick? Almost nobody's gonna go Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, he'd be at the bottom of this. And props to him, man. Like, I feel like I don't think it was a stunt double for a lot of this shit. Like, he was in there doing things. Like,
Yeah, he even looked a little more fit in this movie, and
yeah.
I love Bob Odenkirk. I was really happy to see him doing something huge like that.
Oh yeah, no, he looked like he was having a blast, like doing this.
Yeah, I would give rewatchability. I'd give just in general. I would. Neither one of these are super high on my. I have something to watch list.
Definitely, like I'll go watch Trailer Park Boys before I watch either of these things again. So I want to say like John Wick's like maybe a 7, or no, sorry, Nobody's like a 7. John Wick's like a 5.
Yeah,
like
I'm down with that.
John
Both of
Wick's,
them are movies that I would put on while I have shit to do on my computer.
Yeah, it's something else. It's like I can look over. It's like, ooh, gunfight, fun, and like like have 2 seconds of distraction, then go back to it, and I can enjoy the entire movie that way, as opposed to nobody. I'm actually going to sit down and listen to the dialogue and watch the performance a little bit more.
There's only a few moments in John Wick that I really feel like I have to tune into, like his speech, the speech in the beginning about Baba Yaga, his speech alongside him screaming. I love that part, but the rest of it, you just.
Yeah,
listening to gunfire and
the Continental is fun for some characters, but that's really about it.
Yeah. One of my favorite categories, best supporting cast. Which bench runs deeper? And this one's tough for me because I love Ian McShane and I love Lance Reddick and Willem Dafoe, but holy shit, you got fucking Bob Odenkirk, RZA, and Christopher Lloyd in the same fucking movie.
No, it's like because all the characters from like John Wick are just I am Suave Spy or I am Russian. Like those are the 2 characters that you have, and I am Femme Fatale, I am Man from Past. But like
right,
they're very distinct, interesting characters. I feel more so, and I mean, yet again, not the family. The family is like I couldn't tell you a single one of their names if you held a gun to my head and said you're going to pull the trigger.
The kids are pretty much not. The little girl's barely a motivation, but
yeah.
You know, in a technical sense, I guess I'd say John Wick's supporting cast is deeper. You know, they're all a lot more acclaimed actors and stuff. But I don't remember seeing RZA in a movie in the last quarter century.
No. Well, and also it's like, and they're like the entire last like third of the movie, and like the focus is on them. Where John Wick, the supporting cast, kind of comes in and out of it, but really they don't have a lot of bearing on the actual story.
Right.
There are a couple of more roadblocks or allies or roadblocks to the fucking main thing, whereas like Christopher Lloyd's got his own thing going on, and
yeah, I was gonna say I think I would give this part just for the Christopher Lloyd shotgun scene to nobody because that part is so epic. They really sell that he's just a old man that sits on the couch all day and does nothing. Yeah. The first time you see him spin around smiling with a shotgun, you're like, oh shit.
And then he shows up to the final fight with like 12 double-barrel shotguns.
He loves his westerns. Like they established that pretty hard. Just when because he's like, remember I said I had that thing to do. I gotta go finish it. He's like, well, you best go finish it then. I'm like, I love you, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily give either one a 10 because realistically, John Wick should be getting a 10. Just reading off the talent roster, but they're not. Then at least in this one, they're not a huge part of the movie.
Everyone's trying to be such a cool, aloof James Bond that there's not really a lot of emotional weight to everything.
Yeah, everybody can't be a secret badass.
Yeah.
I think I'd give nobody's supporting cast. I would give like an 8 solely on Christopher Lloyd. And
the
like
novelty of RZA.
Right. I think John Wick should have got a lot more. I give it a 7, but they didn't. Like I don't feel like they utilized Willem Dafoe enough in this.
Like I said, you could have taken him out, and the story would not have changed. Like the only thing he does that like affects the story at all is he shoots John Wick's pillow to wake him up at one point, so he doesn't get like stabbed while he's sleeping. But you could have easily narratively just like he heard something because he's a badass. Like it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I love Willem Dafoe. I wish they had leaned on him a little harder. And I love Lance Reddick could have done nothing better. I love him in this movie.
Yeah, but he's just like in and out. Like he's there for 2 seconds is the problem.
Right. Takes care of the dog, which I love. Or no, that's a different movie. He doesn't take care of the dog in this one.
No. He's just like, it's shot.
All right. So we got round 8. Best style and direction. Who brought the visual flair harder? Chad Stileski or Ilya Naishuller? Who's that? I am looking at him and he's in Nobody. Was he the kid on the bus? I'm not sure who the fuck he is.
I got the cast list here. Hold on.
Oh, he's the director.
That would that would be a useful thing to have in a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Visual style, I couldn't really tell you if nobody had a visual style, per se.
Yeah, other than the, like, club scenes with the pop star stuff and everything, but that's not really... John Wick has a very...
Yeah, like noir,
noticeable
dark,
tone.
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything is colored similarly, like the places feel connected in a weird way. Where,
right. Like this feels like its own universe. It doesn't feel really like it's taking place in any... Like there's no tone of a city coming through this that is in existence. Like this doesn't feel like a New York movie or anything. It feels like a John Wick movie.
Yeah.
And Nobody is just like suburban.
Yeah, it could be literally anywhere. Like it could be in Colorado, it could be in California, it could be in fucking Delaware.
Yeah, just like, in this square 5 miles of whatever town.
Yeah. Nowheresburg, USA. Yeah, it's just there's not a lot of anything that makes the film visually distinct. Like, I mean, there's like there's cool shots and cool camera work and stuff in it, but like.
Feels like they kind of had a trail there of one, and they just didn't stick to it. Like
because
the kind of the light, the way the lights feel in like the bus and a couple other scenes.
It's very dark outside and fluorescent inside. Yeah, exactly. A little bit hyper realism, but it loses that edge by the end of the movie. Like even like the whole thing when he's like destroying the omelette, it's like that's just like kind of dark, and I can't really tell you. I couldn't tell you where that was. And like in context of the movie, I don't know if it was in a building that the club was happening, if it was another place, and then at the end it's just like small workshop like factory. Like it's
never really clear what they're doing in that factory. By the way,
yeah,
there's just a
like
lot
of
like general tool work happening.
And, like drill presses and wood. And, it's just
this is where they make '80s hair metal music videos where the sparks are flying.
Yeah. It's a spark factory. It's they never really there's no real. And yet again, you could have if it was a specific X factory, you could have done something with that and done something interesting with the materials that were there. Like these dyes are kind of corrosive that we use for the carpets. If we set them up to spill on people, it'll burn. Like something. But
that's what I'm saying. When he picks up that window, I'm like, I guess this was a window factory, a tempered glass factory.
Or doors? Did they say something about doors? Like at some point,
maybe. I don't know. It feels like they should have been more specific on that because it comes up a lot. He really wants to buy the factory.
And there's a lot of scenes where he's working in the factory, and I can't tell you what he did, what his job was. And it looks like it pays pretty well. Like he's got a nice house.
He's got a pretty cushy job that he can sit on a ham radio and drink all day, and nobody fucking cares.
I mean, I guess maybe he's funding his life from his gold stash and his fucking pinball machine, but
true.
I don't know.
Yeah. I really want an explanation for how they got to where... I like that this is totally straying off the topic, but it's not until after he murders a bunch of people that he can speak to his wife about how he's
it's feeling. He got his confidence back now.
He's like, I miss you. That he's just I just had to go murder some people to remember that, but I don't know. You feel like she would have remembered who he is a lot more, and the fact that they're financially secure forever because of who he was.
Yeah.
I want to see what led to them just being like, yeah, I don't really fucking like you, actually.
Oh, yeah, and the whole, fucking Great Wall of, China pillow thing that's going on. It's there's something wrong in that marriage. It's not even just we're kind of not communicating. It's no, I can't even stand to look at you while we're sleeping. It's just Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that for both of them, him killing people brings the spark back for them. And she's like, okay, I love you again.
Well, I guess maybe that was it. Maybe, that was the guy she fell in love with this kind of murderous psychopath, and, she got off on the dating Ranger or something. Then he kind of became this milquetoast suburban dad, and she's just like, I don't want to touch that anymore.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you
yeah.
have some blood in your fingers? Come upstairs, but don't wash your hands. It's like some fucking creepy shit.
But what was the style, visual flair? Nobody doesn't really have any.
No, and John Wick is like, I want to say, a style unto itself.
I don't really want to give either of them a lower than a 5 on anything because they don't really suck. But I'd give nobody a 5, and as far as there's not really flair, but they have a style.
Yeah, I'd say 7 probably for John Wick would be a fair assessment.
Oh, that's Wick, and this one was nobody. Okay, moving on. We are on round 9. Character arc. Who changes more from start to finish? I mean, definitely nobody in my mind.
Yeah, does John Wick have
just
an arc?
shaking off the rust to fight without looking like he's in agonizing pain. Doing it was cool, and remembering who he is.
Yeah, and like his vitality coming back, his reconnecting with his wife, and
we don't really see enough of Keanu Reeves as not John Wick for there to be a character arc.
Yeah, no, because I mean, his arc is I got revenge and I'm done.
Yeah, he's just they spend 10 minutes saying, I wasn't doing this thing I'm about to do the next third hour and a half. You don't really see a lot of it, but I promise you, I haven't done this in a while.
Yep.
They make that super apparent in Nobody with the opening montage of just the pure monotony and all that, and
It's
like I said, just the first fight being so painful, like he's unlocking something slowly.
Yeah.
And John Wick just kind of snaps right the fuck into it.
Because with Bob Odenkirk, it's like he's coming back online, and but you see I want to keep doing this. I'm not fucking done yet.
Right.
And John Wick is like, oh well, I guess it's time for murder. Well, let's go.
Yeah, he spends. They that speech starts with people keep asking me if I'm back, and I'm like, nobody really ever thought you weren't though.
Yeah, everyone just kind of assumes oh, you're back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was like, surely he's not back. They were like, he's definitely back. I don't know why he's saying he's not.
Yeah, there's 85 corpses behind him, and he's back. He's spending his coins, and also, do you have to give a fucking gold coin just to get into that goddamn club?
It sure seems like it.
I mean, I don't know. I know, in later in the movies they explain. I think the coins are favors or something like that.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. But they still have a monetary value. I've got to be hundreds of thousands of dollars or some shit like that. He's I want a drink. Or unless they give it back to him inside, where it's just hey, okay, you got in, but
he's like, I had to come stitch you up. This is the equal price for a massive cache of weaponry.
Yeah. It's this is a really good bar. I hope the fucking drinks are free in here. Jesus Christ.
Did you tip your maid $200,000 or no?
I'm assuming. I mean, they got rid of the body, so.
Yeah, character arc, like I said, I'm not going to go lower than a 5, but I'm giving
but it's
a 5 to Wick. Character arc isn't massive for Nobody, so it goes 7 there as well.
7 again, yeah, because it's basically just it's both of them are just an I'm back, but definitely with Nobody is you see more of a distinction between the I'm not back and I'm back.
Yeah, and his whole speech is about how he saw, when he's talking to all the dead guys, he's like, he let one guy go, which is another side character arc, that he was this merciless killing machine. He just wanted to see what would happen if he let somebody live their life, and then he's pissed about it when he sees this.
I wanted that. I was fucking jealous.
He actually goes and does it. He's like, that motherfucker.
Yeah. And then he does it, and it's I kind of don't want this. It looked better from outside the window.
Which is another kind of funny poke at John Wick, that John Wick fully loved his life, and they took it from him. And then in Nobody, he got it. He's like, this kind of blows.
Yeah, this is boring. I don't want to go kill people again.
My son is kind of a fucking dick.
Yeah. Daughter can't keep track for goddamn kitty cat bracelet.
My wife won't have sex with me because I'm not murdering people. What is this? My neighbor's a douche for no reason.
Always miss the trash. My wife reminds me I always miss the trash.
I go do pull-ups at the bus station.
while looking is at a woman. Like, I never was that his wife in the
That was his
photo?
wife.
Like,
Yeah, that was.
yeah, so he's
that
just
was
like rage working out to a picture of his wife. It was weird.
Seems like he's training to murder her.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when like you're on a diet and you put a piece of chocolate cake in front of you. It's like motivation. It's like it was very odd.
All right, final round I think is also going to be a no-brainer, but legacy potential, which one left a deeper mark? Is nobody a one-hit wonder or the start of a new dynasty? Can anything dethrone the Wick franchise in its prime? And no,
we're still
nobody.
Yeah,
No, if
no.
anything can, it's not going to be nobody.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have a shot if they have like 6 more movies, but just there's so much John Wick media now. Like we're getting like another spin-off this year. I think we're getting Ballerina as the thing, right?
Yeah, no, the Nobody 2, and I think Ballerina's already out, and Nobody 2 comes out here in a few weeks, but
Now, if they were really
I haven't
smart,
really heard anything about Ballerina, and I remember hearing that the Continental show was happening, and I never really was super
Yeah,
interested, never
me
watched
neither.
it.
Well, I only watched the first John Wick. I got to watch the other 2 because I don't know anything about the story. But this thing, if nobody was smart, they should see if they could sneak into the John Wick universe because it's close enough. Like that, I
What do you
feel
mean,
like
sneak nobody into it, or what do you mean?
yeah, like Baba Odenkirk could be in the John Wick universe. I feel like that. It's like that kind of weird. Like I have gold hidden in my booby trapped house, and I'm like
Yeah, it'd
part
be
of, like,
funny
a
if Christopher
pseudo-
Lloyd was like part of the whole Continental thing, and then just was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm gonna go teach my kids and start my own."
exactly with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna go adopt this black child from Wu-Tang and make my own shit. But I mean, this is a no-brainer. I mean, nobody would not exist without John Wick. It's
It's exactly
the whole movie is kind of a love letter to John Wick, while making its own spin on things and everything. But I mean, John Wick is straight up like part of vernacular now. Like, it's huge.
It set a standard basically that now has to be lived up to. Like, if you're gonna bring an action movie and it doesn't have at least something approaching the level of like fidelity and dynamic like action scenes as John Wick, it's not gonna do well anymore.
And it's one of the only like kind of franchises where, you know, Fast and Furious went fully off the fucking rails after like 3 movies. And
I think
John
we had Cars
Wick,
in Space like by 7 or something. Like
yeah,
that,
they
right?
did.
Yeah.
That was a running joke, and they straight up did that shit.
Yeah. The only thing they haven't done yet is Cars Through Time. That's the one I'm waiting for.
I'm not going to be shocked at anything anymore. Yeah. I mean, Vin Diesel straight up should be in the Marvel universe by the end of the Fast series.
Oh, yeah. And also, I love my perspective on the Fast and Furious series because I saw 1, I saw 2, then nothing. Then I went and saw Hobbs and Shaw in theater.
Yeah, pretty much same here. I saw Tokyo Drift,
Yep, that's true.
Which was like a spin-off and cool for different reasons. But I fucking loved the first Fast and Furious. And it went so insane that
now we're like drifting
anymore.
sideways through a nuclear bomb factory while the bomb goes off, and I'm making out with a girl next to me while I'm drifting through the explosion.
With literally no valid explanation as to why these guys are the people these incredibly powerful individuals come to solve world crises. Yeah. But John Wick, it's not incredible or anything, in my opinion. No. But throughout the 4 John Wick movies, it has a consistent like storyline ending with 4 that is
the tone and visuals
maintains the same
consistent
level of coolness and expands on the lore and everything. And
whereas Nobody, we got 1 and another one coming in the barrel. What you said, the trailers aren't looking too great, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't feel like they should have made a sequel, honestly. I feel like it should have been a one and done.
Yeah.
And they're definitely not going to establish a John Wick-like fandom or universe.
No.
I say it's borderline cult classic because I don't know a lot of people that have seen Nobody.
No, me either. This is actually the first time I watched it when I went through this thing. So, I mean, like, it always looked interesting. And I was like, oh, Bob Odenkirk, I love that. Oh, this looks fun, but I just never got around to it.
Well, and I had seen it come up. It came up a few times, and I understood what the premise was. I remember seeing the trailer, and I was like, I just don't feel like they can pull off a basically John Wick, but not John Wick movie very well with Bob Odenkirk. Yeah. And I was very pleasantly surprised, but it's not establishing a universe or anything anytime soon, let alone dethroning John Wick.
Yeah,
So,
no, like I said, the John Wick 1 is like a window to a greater world, where this just feels like a kind of a, you know, localized story in this one little
yeah,
area that was
really
done.
cool and interesting one-off. And, for legacy potential, I got to give John Wick a 10. They have definitely established themselves in that manner.
Oh, just by demonstrably, like they're just, it's a massive franchise now, and it's like
In
some of
the
the
interest
names are verbs.
of cautious optimism, I'll give nobody a 6 to see
Yeah.
if they could, but they're not gonna.
No.
So Wick wins that last one. So we've got, let's see, round 1 went to nobody. Round 6, 7, and 9 went to nobody. So Wick wins on a, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. 6-4. Not even a split decision. This goes to
Yeah.
Wick.
Which, I feel
Which-
fair. Like,
Yeah. Nobody would have had to really blow literally the last, 35-ish minutes would have had to be drastically different for it to be even
Yeah.
close for me.
yeah, because like I said, like I
an
love
insane
the first
amount of writing
2/3
or
of it,
twist.
but yeah, the last bit was just like it felt like almost a different writer took over at that point.
It does. Yeah, it does. I feel like there could have been some kind of, if they were trying to set up a sequel, they could have done a lot of other shit, I feel like, where something
Yeah.
cool and unexpected happened, maybe some kind of twist ending.
But no, everybody
Maybe
gets shot. We're done.
Yeah, no, they lean into that pretty hard, but John Wick never tried to set itself up to be anything other than that. So,
yeah, fair enough.
and I love Keanu Reeves and love seeing that he went through all this hell to make this movie happen, and it really paid off for him
Yeah, no,
because he's just a
watching-
good dude.
Watching Keanu Reeves kung fu is always fun.
I love that we both saw the gun kata.
Yep. Oh, man.
Some random trivia facts. Like I said, John Wick or Keanu trained like crazy. He learned judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, tactical shooting. There's all that footage of him doing it. The filmmakers added the puppy after the initial script,
We need a reason.
specifically
for him to do that shit.
designed to justify the carnage. So
Yep.
they nailed that shit.
How cute of a puppy! The cutest one you can find.
Yes. And the Continental was a last-minute world-building decision. It wasn't in the first draft.
Great.
So that's
I feel like that was kind of the heart of the world building. Like,
yeah.
That showed you
Whoever
there was this-
came up with that deserves so much more credit because that's
because
insane.
otherwise it's just a psychopath on a revenge mission. But now you see it's like part of this greater organization that has rules and protocols and consequences.
Yeah, I love that. The movie would not be the same at all without the Continental. It would be kind of
Which
fucking.
also, it needed the Continental to slow down the pace of the movie a bit too, because like John Wick doesn't stop,
Right.
and like it gives a little like bit for like exposition and the audience to breathe and fucking catch their breath before we go straight back into fucking 45 minutes of gunplay.
Yeah, it adds like a level of like class and like intrigue to it.
Yeah,
that it wouldn't have
adds
without
a
that.
James Bond aspect to the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, the script was originally much older. He was supposed to be a 60-something retired hitman, and it was originally called Scorn. They rewrote it after Keanu got involved. Thank God, because that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that feels like one of those movies that like they make to have like older actors keep their insurance.
It would have been Liam Neeson, basically.
Yeah.
Nobody trivia. Odenkirk trained also for 2 years before shooting began. He did it. He
That
did
makes
do his own
sense.
stunts. He insisted on making the fight scenes messy and unglamorous. Awesome decision. That's
Yeah, no, definitely got that from the movie. It's very raw. I mean, like I said, except for the end, but like the first
Right.
couple of fights are super raw and realistic.
definitely. So, judging from that fact, it sounds like Bob Odenkirk came with all the best parts, and then some
Yep.
Hollywood writer was like, "What if we do all this wild, over the top shit?" and then ruined it.
We need a big ending bit. What out? Here we
The
go.
bus scene
Mousetrap
was
shotguns.
based on a real event. Bob Odenkirk was inspired by a real incident where he was on a bus and did nothing while a woman was harassed. That's kind of fucking cool that he just took this movie and was like, I want to put this in here because I want to do what I should have done or would have done if I had trained for 2 years before I was on the bus that day. Oh, it has the same writer as John Wick.
Oh, that would make sense.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
And the booby trap, the claymore in the cubicle was Bob's idea.
Yeah.
Literally says Bob wanted Hutch to be a Home Alone for grown-ups kind of fighter.
That's
great.
exactly how it came off.
It wasn't subtle at all. You nailed it.
No. Like they should have had the fucking like Home Alone dun 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 like that fucking the Christmas music playing just as a direct reference to it because it couldn't have been any more direct.
So here's the reason it might not be super well known. It finished principal photography just weeks before the 2020 lockdowns for COVID. It was one of the first to hit theaters during the pandemic and still performed well. That's kind of cool, but definitely would explain why it went so under the radar.
Yeah, no, everything.
I don't know how to feel about the fact that Bob Odenkirk made like the coolest part and the dumbest part of this movie.
Yeah. Again, it's a very Odenkirkian thing to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was originally very deep into comedy writing, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So gonna come out even in his action scenes a bit.
I want to believe he said it as a joke. It was like, what if we just have me strap a bomb to a piece of glass in the building? Just run
and
at
the next
guy.
day it's just like he sees the prop like, oh shit.
All right, well, that gives us John Wick as the winner. Completely unsurprising.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get the wheel ready for the next episode.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Yes. Well, we're staying in the action vein.
All right. So the first double up in genre.
It's going to be Skyfall versus Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
You know what we can do? What if we do like once a month we can each veto a spin if you want to stay out of the action genre. You want to do that?
Let's try. Let's see if we can get one.
I'd like to do something.
I will use my monthly veto, so you can.
Okay.
let's give the wheel morality one more turn.
You gotta be fucking kidding me! It almost landed on the same thing again. We got Training Day versus End of Watch.
All right, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Unless you want to use
less gratuitous violence, definitely. In End of Watch and in Training Day. Yep. Okay. We're gonna watch some cops.
Yep.
I love End of Watch, and I love Training Day. I haven't seen Training Day in forever, but
End of Watch is great. Isn't that the one with like the crazy ass like SUV combat scene, or am I thinking about something else?
I don't think so. End of Watch is a lot of like body cam footage.
Oh yeah, I know.
Jake Gyllenhaal's like documenting a bunch of it. Looks almost like a found footage movie.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that. Right?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena.
I think I saw it ages ago, but
I love it. It's got pretty dark ending. They both do actually, so this will be interesting.
Cop movies tend to not end well.
Yeah, End of Watch is a lot more realistic than Training Day, obviously. But I'm psyched. I love those movies. We should add a little more to this wheel because I'm looking at it now. Variety. It's a lot of action. You know what? There are a lot of other stuff it could have landed on.
I'll start firing up some comedy and horror ideas.
Yeah, I gotta start writing down when people suggest stuff because lots of random people have suggested stuff that I completely forget about. But when they say it, I'm like, that's an awesome idea.
Are you there? I think we haven't hit a sci-fi yet either, so that'd be something we could look into.
Well, at least we have for sure locked in the Superman and Fantastic Four in July.
Yes.
So we have at least that for sure happening. But thank you everyone for tuning into Flick Fights. I don't think any of you should be Superman because John Wick won, but feel free to let me know if you think we're wrong. I'm sure you'll think some of the scores were wrong for John Wick.
And those of you that missed Nobody because of the pandemic, definitely give it a shot. It's a good time. It suffers a bit in the third act, but not disappointed that I sat through the whole thing. And
I think it was free,
funny,
too.
interesting.
So,
Yeah, it's free. You can find it out there for free. So can't beat free.
but thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm Devin Vestal,
I'm Nick Nye.
and this was Flick Fights.
See you next time.